2014, 6-7 member PR Sad, who will become a lot more prominent as the video goes on, was actually repping 150. However, later in 2015, he would switch gangs, becoming aligned with their rivals, 6-7. Now, at the end of 2000...
Is that not crazy? So he switched gangs that was their rivals. That's wild. I thought that shit was off limits. YouTube, we back with the Big Man Boy doing the reaction list. We got 6-7 South London's most infamous gang. Y'all been asking for this. You know I got y'all, man. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, make sure you put the post notifications on. I ain't even gotta say too much. Y'all been showing me love. I'm gonna keep dropping these daily videos. Let's go, man.
Note, all of the opinions used within this video are mine alone. Everything in this video has been taken from publicly available sources, and any footage or video used falls under the doctrine of fair use. I have made every effort to ensure all of the sources used within this video are accurate. However, I am not responsible for content that third parties publish.
You know I'm always gonna say, shout out to UK Joe Plug for the video. I think that's him, right? Yup, UK Joe Plug. Yup, he did it. Let's get it, man. Let's get it.
Or do. Sit back and enjoy today's video.
I will.
The 2021 census, the London borough of Lambeth was recorded to be home to around 316,000 people. The borough was actually ranked among the top 10 most dangerous London boroughs, which is crazy. As of a 2023 report, the crime rate in Lambeth was recorded at just over 130 crimes per 1,000 people. This then coming in 20...
Damn. Okay. All right.
London's rate of 103 crimes per 1,000 people. The borough of Lambeth is located in South London and is among the boroughs that form Inner London. What a lot of the people currently living in and around the borough of Lambeth are unaware of, however, is that a large street gang based around Brixton Hill has been terrorizing the streets of Lambeth for years, having multiple rivalries with other street gangs in the area, with these rivalries getting quite deadly, as you will see throughout this video, as well as the gang's rise to prominence in the UK drill scene, with young rappers from the crew.
Dimsy, Scribs, and Monkey. It's frying. Are they nice? Yeah, we gotta see.
UK drill anthems.
6-7, okay.
They can be heard disrespecting both their dead and alive rivals. This street gang being none other than 674 or 6-7 from Brixton Hill.
They terrorize Brixton.
Quick disclaimer before this video starts. If you take anything from this video, make sure that it is to stay out of the gang life, as well as far away from the roads. As this road and gang life you see these rappers living often only leads to two outcomes, these being jail and death, and rarely anything positive. As what the rappers involved don't tell you is they have lost most of the people around them to either the roads and gang.
They be losing too many people.
Also,
imagine there's so many of them getting smoked up into the air, bro. Like, it'd be so crazy.
Information used within this video is obtained through public sources and is alleged. I will not be speculating on any cases that are yet to be 100% finished, but without further ado, sit back and enjoy this video.
And despite the efforts of the emergency services, two men, both in their 20s, sadly died at the scene.
Oh my god! Oh my god, he's shaking!
How old were you guys when
you were
really involved in street shit?
Knee high. Yeah.
Now, 6-7 or
that should be sad though, that young, bro.
674 is a street gang based in and around the area of Brixton Hill, SW2 and SW4, more specifically around New Park Road, Tilson Gardens Estate and the Rupel Park Estate. The 674 name has been in use since the 2010s, but before this, the gang was known as OSG, or On-Site Gang, and BHB, or Brixton Hill Bullies, or Bloods. In fact, when OSG is typed out onto a trap phone keypad, the numbers 674 are visible, this possibly being where the 674 name derives from. Other sets in Brixton Hill during the late 2000s and early 2010s included NPG, or New Park Gunners, and the Marga Lane Gang, who actually made music. It's also known that around 2020, a smaller set known as RP, or Rupel Park, which was based, as I'm sure you can guess, around Rupel Park, would absorb into 674 or 6-7, with the members of that crew repping 6-7. Another name—
Hey man, don't slow, he's nice, okay.
6-7 go by nowadays is SAD, or Search and Destroy, Spot and Drop, amongst other—
Nah, Search and Destroy is tough.
No
cap, that's a tough.
Gang is affiliated with nearby LTH from Lower Tulse Hill, as well as 5-5 or GID from Streatham. The gang is also a part of a larger alliance known as Hillside, which I have actually made a video on. 6-7 have a rivalry with 150, 410, Up Top, and also 17 Wano from Wandsworth Road. Prominent members of 6-7 include LD, Dimsy, Monkey, Dope Smoke, PR Sad, Brucka, and R 6.
Okay, now let me ask this: who is the best in 6'7" rapping wise? That let me know in the comments right now.
All of these members, in fact,
me know.
being well known in the UK drill scene, which I will discuss within this video. Now, you may be confused as to how this 6'7" crew began to terrorize the streets of Lambeth and South London, with their rivalry with other local crews getting so deadly, in fact, that stabbings, shootings, and murders almost became common in the area. Now, around the late 2000s, the 6'7" crew was better known as BHB, which stood for Brixton Hill Bloods, as well as Brixton Hill Bullies, with this BHB gang even being affiliated with Gas Gang, which is crazy as the most prominent crew to come out of Gas Gang was known as 150. And as you will learn later on in this video, 6'7" and 150 would come to have a bloody and deadly gang feud with one another.
Hey,
in 2007, however, the rivalry between BHB and another gang from Somerleyton, known as MZ, would begin to get deadly, MZ being the predecessor gang to the modern Sirac crew. On the 3rd of August 2007, a member of BHB from Brixton Hill, known as Junes, would get robbed by MZ gang members from Somerleyton. His chain was taken by the members, who then fled after the robbery.
They took his chain!
Junes decided after he was robbed to spin back and retaliate. A few hours later, Junes armed himself with a gun and drove around Brixton looking for BHB gang members. After a few minutes of looking, Junes noticed an alleged BHB member known as Bowser, who was sitting with a few friends on a wall. Junes let off shots toward Bowser, who was hit 6 times, with one of the bullets even hitting his heart.
6 times?
Junes then fled after the shooting, with Bowser sadly being pronounced dead shortly
Of
after the
course,
attack.
he got
Police
shot
arrived
up,
on the scene
crazy.
and launched a murder investigation. 17-year-old Junes was quickly arrested in connection to the shooting and was charged with the murder of Bowser. Later in 2008, after a full trial, 17-year-old Junes was found guilty and was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of 21 years. Rest in peace, Bowser. It's known that
It'd be crazy how I mean, it's deserved time, but it'd just be crazy to hear them years, bro. 21 years in the pen, in jail.
death of Bowser caused tension between the gangs in Brixton, although it wasn't the breaking point which occurred years later, when a TN1 member known as Lil Zach was killed by Gas gang members, TN1 being a gang from Tulse Hill that was closely allied with BHB, although I'll explain this incident later. Now, around this time, BHB was actually active in the music scene, often releasing freestyles. In 2008, Dimsy from 6'7", who was repping BHB at this time, can be seen freestyling on his estate in an old video that was recovered and uploaded in 2000.
So he's been doing it for a minute. Ah, okay.
Although it's believed that the video was in fact shot in 2008. BHB also had a track with Gas Gang, which has since been re-uploaded. This is crazy, as not long after this, BHB and Gas began to rival one another, carrying on into the 2010s, where 6'7" and 150 would rival each other. This occurring after the death of a loved TN1 member from Tulse Hill. On the 2nd of July 2010, a 15-year-old member of the TN1 gang from Tulse Hill, known as Lil Zach or Zach Olamegbon, would enter school, where upon entering, it was compulsory for all students to hand in their phones. On this day, however, Lil Zach refused to hand his phone in. Whilst arguing with a teacher about the matter, Lil Zach noticed a car full of Gas gang members outside. Zach then told the teacher, "That's them, that's them."
15 years old, bro.
The Gas gang members then exited their vehicle and walked toward another student, stabbing him in the arm. By this point, Lil Zach began to flee. With the Gas members noticing this, Lil Zach was then chased around 400 feet by the armed gang, who eventually caught up to him and stabbed him multiple times before fleeing seconds after the attack. Police and paramedics rushed to the scene and attempted to save Lil Zach's life. However, despite their best attempts, he was sadly pronounced dead around 90 minutes.
Bro, that's so sad, because he's mad young, only 15. Whole life ahead of him.
A murder investigation was launched following this, and a day later, on the 3rd of July 2010, Gas gang members Clicks, Mad H, J-Kid, and Maggie were arrested. All 4 were charged with Zach's murder, and later in 2011, the 4 were found guilty, being given sentences
I remember seeing it.
years,
This definitely
16 years,
sounds familiar.
years, and 14 years, with the news of Zach's death gaining a massive amount of attention in nearby communities due to how shocking it was. Rest in peace. Now, it's believed that the death of Lil Zach resulted in Brixton splitting. Some members of TN1 wanted to get back for their friend Lil Zach, whilst others sided with Gas Gang. This meant that surrounding gangs had to pick which gangs to side with.
Wait, so Lil Zach was probably outside. He's probably like outside in the field. Oh, okay.
Beef, resulting in 6'7", or BHB, ABM from Stockwell and 55, or GID from Streatham siding with TN1 from Tulse Hill, whilst a gang from Upper Tulse Hill sided with Gas Gang. This of course led to the modern-day beef between 6-7 and UTH from Upper Tulse Hill, as well as with 150 and 410 from Brixton, as Gas Gang later became known as 150 or GBG, which stood for Get Back Gang. Now, in 2012, another gang from Brixton Hill known as Marga Lane began to get active in the underground UK road rap scene. In April 2012, a freestyle featuring members of this gang was uploaded onto YouTube. Just a few months following this upload, another freestyle was released, this being titled Brixton Hill Freestyle. Now these freestyles didn't gain much attention, although they did lay out the foundations for other 6-7 rappers to start making music, which they did. Following the releases of these freestyles, however, the 6-7 name became the name that the gang used, as well as OSG, which stood for On-Site Gang. For simplicity's sake, however,
I love that name, On-Site Gang. It's strictly on site.
I will refer to them as 6-7. It's believed that in 2013, 6-7 member PR Sad, who will become a lot more prominent as the video goes on, was actually repping 150. However, later in 2015, he would switch gangs, becoming aligned with their rivals, 6-7. Now, at the end of 2000...
Is that not crazy? So he switched gangs that was their rivals. That's wild. I thought that shit was off limits.
2013, the first instances of both 6-7 and 150 sending shots to each other in music would occur. In December 2013, 150 rappers Styx and M Darg released a track titled It's Cracking. Within this song, Styx rapped, I f with O'Trey so f broad day. It's cracking. O'Trey being a reference to the 031 gang, whilst Broad Day was the name that ABM from Stockwell went under at the time. Throughout this song, Styx and M Darg would send multiple shots towards 6-7's most prominent rapper at the time, Scribs, who later became LD. Anyways, later in February 2014, 6-7 members Dimsy, Scribs, and Monkey directly responded in a track titled It's Frying, in which they used the same beat and flow to disrespect 150. Dimsy responded to the Broad Day line, in which he rapped, I'm OJ so fuck O'Trey, bitch be frying. LD then stated in his verse that he does not fuck with Ciroc, previously known as MZ, and that 6-7 runs Brixton, as well as stating his ops walk around with knives, whilst he is armed with guns. Both of these tracks gained millions of views, and shone a spotlight on both groups, who during the 2010s gained a massive amount of attention, establishing the UK drill sound. Despite this success, however, in 2014, 6-7's leading rapper Scribs would be handed an ASBO, or an anti-social behavior order. This ASBO prevented him from performing his music in pubs.
I was about to say, what is that? Hold on, let me see.
Anti-social
Can be used to stop anyone aged 10 or over from harassing, causing alarm, or distress to other people who aren't in the same household. Damn.
Behavior order. This ASBO prevented him from performing his music in public under the Scribs name. To combat this, Scribs changed his name to LD and began to wear a unique mask, which he has even continued to wear 10 years later. In the same year of his ASBO being issued, LD...
He was thinking. He said, fuck it, alright, you gonna take that name, let me make a new name and put a mask on, now be going crazy.
Released the track Live.
Now I get why they got masks. Now I get why they be wearing masks in the video, okay.
Around 7.6 million views. Within this track, he openly stated that a fellow 6-7 member had a Mac-10 machine gun, comparing the sound of it shooting to a drum, and that if you mess with the 6-7 crew, you can get shot. This song, as well as other 6-7 and 150 tracks, really laid out the foundations for the UK drill genre. Around this time, however, the rivalry between 6-7 and 150 would really kick off, when in February 2014, a member of 150 would be killed by a 6-7 gang member, this being the death of SQ. On the 25th of February 2014, only a few weeks after the back and forth between 150 and 6-7 in diss tracks, a member associated with 150 known as SQ or Squirrel would be driving through the Angeltown estate, home to the 150 gang. Whilst driving, he noticed his friend being chased by a 6-7 member known as Incy. SQ then decided to intervene and help his friend, who was fleeing by this point. After SQ exited his vehicle, 6-7 member Incy turned his attention to SQ, who was then chased down and was stabbed in the heart, with Incy fleeing seconds following the attack. Police and emergency services arrived on the scene seconds later and transported SQ to a hospital, where he sadly died 2 days later, on the 27th of February 2000.
Damn, that test, bro. That is, every time I hear a little, like someone getting stabbed in these type of videos, it's always the heart. Niggas be knowing, I'm going to come to your heart. I'm going to take your life, boy.
Incy was later arrested and charged in connection to the murder, and in December 2014 was found guilty, being given a sentence of 12 years in prison, with it being believed that the death...
Is that even enough time, though? 12 years? and they know it has to be something that mess up the case, because only 12 years. 12 years is still a long time, bro. Even a year is long, bro. You feel me, to be in jail, but 12 years for stabbing somebody in their heart and killing them. It's not too bad, bro. I'm gonna be honest, it's not too bad, bro.
Death of SQ escalated the beef between 150 and 6-7 further. It's even known that PR Sad showed love to SQ in 2014 after his death, as around this time PR was aligned with 150. This is crazy, as only months after his death, PR Sad can be seen in a 6-7 music video titled Skangman, in which SQ was disrespected multiple times. Rest in peace.
Whoa. Okay, we have a lot to talk about. So PR Sad was in a video where niggas are disrespecting the man's that he was talking about RPSQ, shit like that, and that's not weird? That's crazy. Niggas in the videos talking about Chipmans, you talking about RP2, bro. I don't know, bro. I didn't even know about this information. This is crazy. That's wild work, bro.
SQ or Squirrel.
I don't know how to feel about that.
2015 came around. Both sides continued to make music. In January 2015, 6-7 released a track titled Skangman. This track was very disrespectful, and as a result, the original music video was removed from YouTube, although re-uploads of the track do still exist. Shortly after the release of this Skangman track, 6-7 member SJ would be stopped by police and was found in possession of a revolver. SJ was then arrested and charged, eventually being given 5 years for the incident. It's believed that SJ had taken a minicab from Kennington to Herne Hill, however, redirected the driver somewhere else and promised to pay him extra for the inconvenience. Shortly after this redirection, armed police stopped the vehicle and arrested SJ, leading to his sentencing of 5 years. He was later released in 2018, where he continued to make music. Now, around this time, 6-7 would really be shining within the UK drill scene, previously releasing tracks that have since gained millions of views. In August 2015, however, 6-7 members, Monkey, LD, Dimsy, and ASAP released a track titled Take It There. Within this song, Monkey rapped that 6-7's rivals were doing drive-bys, but hitting no one, claiming it was a waste of bullets. LD
Niggas say, y'all riding around, but y'all not hitting nothing. Alright.
Followed this up by rapping that he had a skeng, or gun, in a 4-door truck, and him as well as other 6-7 members didn't mind taking it to the op block. Anyways, this Take It There track was released in order to promote 6-7's upcoming album titled In Skengs We Trust. This album then being released a month later, on the 25th of September 2015. This was a 20-track album, and featured multiple songs that have since garnered millions of streams. Around this time, 6-7 was basically the biggest thing coming out of the streets, gaining hundreds of new fans every day, so much so in fact, that popular Peckham rapper Giggs started to watch the crew, eventually hopping on a feature with 6-7 in February 2016, this being titled Let's Lurk. This song did numbers, and currently sits on 23 million views, which is crazy. During 2016, the 6-7 gang continued to make music, with popular 6-7 member R6 releasing the track Red Drum Reverse at the end of 2016, this solidifying him in the scene, as he was...
That's crazy though, 16 mil 8 years ago? Bro. That's insane numbers for 8 years ago, bro. Like a mil back then, 8 years ago, means so much more than a mil now, bro. Oh my goodness.
Supposedly a younger during this time. Also in December 2016, 6-7 appeared on a DJ Vlad interview in which they spoke on the hood politics in Lambeth, even discussing the blood and Crip wave that the borough had been affected by in the prior few years.
And out there, you know, because in America you have Crips, you have Bloods. You go to Chicago, you have GDs, BDs, you have Vice Lords, and so forth. But out here, it's different. You don't have American gangs.
No, they tried to do the Bloods and the Crips before.
They used to.
Oh, really?
Wow, yeah, they tried it still.
A long time ago.
Okay, because you see, you know, I remember.
They tried it before, but it went wrong. It went wrong.
Explain.
Too much areas tried to be Bloods, and they don't even know each other. Then
They had like a name for themselves and everything.
it was Brixton Hill Bloods, Blood Set.
Okay.
So that's what they called themselves out there. Then, yeah, they used to beef the so-called Crips and that. But that's all fake. It was all fake.
What? So did a Crip set pop up somewhere?
Yeah, there was a Crip set somewhere.
At the same time.
It was Crips again. Crips, it was ABM, innit?
So do they?
The 6-7 crew would see chart success in the year 2017 after releasing a track titled Glorious 12th, this gaining a good amount of attention and even peaking at number 77 on the official charts. It's also believed that at some point in 2017, LZ was caught with a knife and was jailed for being in possession of it. The 6-7 gang continued to release music in 2017 and into 2018, where the beef between 6-7 and their rivals really got deadly, leading to the younger members of 6-7 taking over and really beginning to terrorize the streets of Lambeth as well as South London. On the 5th of November 2018, LTH member J-Sav, who was closely affiliated with 6-7 members,
I remember J-Sav
standing on a road in Lower Tulse Hill, waiting to be picked up by his mum. Whilst waiting outside, a group of...
And I remember the story. His mom got there and he was killed, and she had to witness the whole thing. That was crazy.
50 members would be in a stolen vehicle driving around the estate.
That's wild.
They noticed 16-year-old J-Sav waiting for his mum. An alleged member then jumped out of the car, armed with a knife. J-Sav was then stabbed in the stomach multiple times by the gang members, who then fled after the attack. J-Sav's mum had actually witnessed the entire attack.
Yeah,
quickly
bro.
rushed to J-Sav's
Sad,
aid,
bro.
phoning police and emergency services, who arrived.
Mom's seen the whole thing. He's only 16, and she don't even know he's in the streets, bro. That's a triple whammy, bro.
5 minutes
That's
following the
insane.
stabbing. Sadly, however, 16-year-old J-Sav was pronounced dead moments after the stabbing, with a murder investigation being launched. Despite an entire investigation, however, no one has ever been arrested in connection to the murder, with it remaining unsolved. Rest in peace, J-Sav. Now, following the death of J-Sav, his friends from both LTH and 6-7 would begin to retaliate for him, leading to 2019 being one of the deadliest years. So much so that even today, 6-7 rappers can be heard referencing the year within their songs, as it was so bloody and deadly. On the 27th of
2019.
March 2019, 25-year-old Romain Wigan, or Reckless, from the UTH gang, would be lured to an apartment in West Norwood by gang members believed to be affiliated with either the 6-7 crew or their allies. After entering the apartment, however, he was held at gunpoint before the attacker then shot him from behind and fled the scene seconds after the shooting. Police and emergency services were called at around 4:10 in the afternoon to reports of a gunshot. After arriving at the scene, 25-year-old Romain Wigan, or Reckless, was discovered suffering a gunshot wound. Sadly, however, around 30 minutes after arriving, Reckless was pronounced dead on the scene at 4:45 p.m. An investigation has since been launched. A man was later arrested in connection to the murder and was sentenced to life with a minimum of 34 years. It's rumored.
Ooh. I think that's the most time I've seen on one of these type of videos.
However,
34?
this man wasn't the killer of Reckless,
Damn.
but was present. Rest in peace, Reckless. Just 2 days after this shocking shooting, on the 29th of March 2019, CT gang members from Clapham would be looking for 6-7 members in Clapham. The CT members noticed a member of 6-7 known as Leaks, who was sitting in a car with his brother, Gavin Garraway, who was believed to not be involved with the local gangs. The CT gang members then chased Leaks as well as his brother, Gavin Garraway, in a car. Leaks and his brother were driving in a VW Golf, which crashed during the chase. A CT member then hopped out of a vehicle and drew a machete from his waistband. He then approached an opened window of the car driven by Leaks and his brother. The CT member then lunged multiple times through the open window. Sadly,
machete?
Gavin Garraway was stabbed multiple times in this attack, with the attackers fleeing seconds after the attack. Gavin Garraway was sadly pronounced dead moments after the attack, with another murder investigation being
R.I.P.,
launched.
bro.
Following a trial, a CT member from Clapham would be arrested and charged in connection to the murder, eventually being found guilty. Rest in peace, Gavin Garraway. Just under 2 months following the murder of both Reckless and Gavin Garraway, in June 2019, a CT member known as Stomps, or Shayon Evans, who was also affiliated with 37, would be walking down D-Side Road in Wandsworth when he was noticed by a 6-7 member known as Giant, or Fernando Pope. After the pair noticed one another, a fight broke out. During the altercation, Giant retrieved a large knife and began to repeatedly stab Stomps with it, before fleeing moments after the altercation. Police and emergency services rushed to save Stomps. However, sadly, he was pronounced dead moments after the attack, with yet another murder investigation being launched. Police began to investigate the crime, and in the days after his death, they went through multiple hours of CCTV from nearby estates. Eventually, 6 days after the attack, on the 20th of June 2019, 21-year-old Fernando Pope, or Giant, was arrested in connection to the murder. Following a full trial, Giant was found guilty, and in 2020 was handed life in prison with a minimum of 25 years. Rest in peace, Shayon Evans,
Damn.
or Stomps. A few weeks following.
That's one thing. I already said it before, but I'm gonna say it again, bro. Y'all really got CCTVs, yo. Y'all move just like New York, bro. Y'all they gonna see everything. You gonna get caught.
Following this, on the 15th of August 2019, Dope Smoke's younger brother, Double S, would be looking for rivals from the Clapham gang. He noticed an 18-year-old member of the CT gang, known as S1, who was walking with a girl, believed to be the girlfriend of another CT member known as Nutty. Anyways, S1 would actually walk toward Double S and would fist bump him. With Double S asking which area S1 was from, it's rumored S1 denied any involvement with the gangs and carried on walking. A few minutes later,
The girl was on the phone with the op. I remember this.
S1 noticed he was being followed by Double S. The girl present then called Nutty, and this was
Yep.
when a confrontation between both Double S and S1 would occur.
I remember.
S1 was stabbed in the neck and chest by Double S,
Ooh.
who fled seconds after the attack.
Damn.
Police and paramedics arrived on the scene moments later. An investigation was launched, and Double S was arrested days later and would be charged with the murder of S1. Eventually, in the end, Double S would be given 14 years for the murder. Rest in peace, S1. Now, Double S was actually the younger brother of Dope Smoke, or Dopey, who has since been...
And you know what's crazy, bro? Dope Smoke should have been telling his younger brother, bro, don't be doing that. I said that the last time. You should not be doing that. You should be telling him, don't do that, gang. Go, for me, don't follow my footsteps, bro. But
become a popular rapper
hard.
from 6'7". This meant that Dope Smoke had been heavily impacted by the arrest of his younger brother, who had now been given life for a murder. Despite this, however, just a few months later, Dope Smoke himself would also be fighting a murder charge. On the 10th of September 2019, just under a month following the death of S1, VD from 6'7", as well as two others, would get into a fight with a 17-year-old Yusuf Becker outside of a KFC in central London. The fight quickly got heated and knives were drawn. Yusuf, or Lil D, was stabbed around 3 times all over the body, with the attackers fleeing seconds later. Paramedics quickly rushed to the scene and attempted to save Yusuf. However, despite the best attempts of medical professionals, he was pronounced dead moments later, with yet another murder investigation being launched. Now, it would actually take quite a while for police to arrest the attackers, with VD even allegedly going on the run for a few days, releasing a track titled Local Shops with Dope Smoke. In VD's verse on this track, he rapped that him as well as 6'7" members don't leave evidence, that's why they were not behind bars, as well as Dope Smoke rapping that they do in fact go to the op block, as one of their ops was killed. This brazen self-snitching led to the arrests of both VD and Dope
I was about to say, cause they talking crazy in the lyrics, like, ops ain't about to use that?
Smoke. Following a full trial, however, Dope Smoke was acquitted of the charges and was released, whilst VD was found guilty and was sentenced to life with a minimum of 19 years.
Whoever was his lawyer, Dope Smoke's lawyer, y'all need to get in tune if you out there doing this gang shit.
Rest
For
in
real.
peace, Yusuf Becker. Dope Smoke later rapped about this incident in a track titled Deeper Than Drill, which he actually previewed on Snapchat. Now, in December 2019, LD as well as ASAP, who were 6'7's most popular rappers, would be arrested in connection to a large county lines operation that saw them running drugs from London into Berkshire and Hampshire. ASAP was jailed for 4.5 years, whilst LD was also given a 4.5-year sentence. Both members were also banned from having unregistered SIM cards for 8 years. As a result of this, loads of new rappers from 6'7 began to release music. In June 2020, 6'7 rapper PR Sad released his debut track 3 Out of 9. Within this song, PR mentioned that in 2019, 3 of his ops had been stabbed and 1 had been shot. Dope Smoke then released his debut track Threat to Life on the 31st of October 2020. Dope Smoke opened this track stating that police had named him a threat to life, and he thought they were right because someone lost their life. Dope Smoke then followed this release up in December 2020.
Nah, that's insane. This is crazy. They got some demons. Hold on.
Titled Hazard in Public, featuring fellow 6'7 rapper Silent. At the start of 2021, PR Sad released a plugged-in freestyle in which he disrespected Reckless, who sadly died 2 years earlier. This plugged-in was...
Yeah, he got crazy on that plugged in. If you haven't seen the video, I reacted to it, man. It's on my channel, man. Go tune into that.
seriously disrespectful, so it wasn't a surprise when
wild.
it was quickly removed
It
from
was
YouTube.
wild.
6'7 weren't done there, and just under a month later, in February 2021, 6'7 rappers Dimsy, Monkey, AK, SJ, Silent, and Dope Smoke released a track titled Danger Hill. This was a serious link-up and gained loads of attention, currently sitting on just under 5 million streams. In June
that's valid.
2021, however, an alleged member of 5'5 or GID would fall victim to the streets, this being AD, who was allegedly set up by a girl. The details regarding AD's death are quite unknown, so I won't really speculate on it. However, what is known is that gang members from Croydon would be disrespecting him heavily, and due to him being close with 6'7, this meant that 6'7 and STK from Croydon would be rivaling one another. Rest in peace, AD. Just a few months following this,
R.I.P.
in October 2021, 6'7 released another album titled Hillside. This featured multiple tracks from Dope Smoke as well as other 6'7 rappers like like Silent, R6, and PR Sad, who by this point had actually built a fan base. Despite the musical success 6-7 was seeing, their rivalry with other gangs was getting very deadly, and on the 31st of October 2022, sadly, another person would fall victim to the rivalries in and around Lambeth. On the 31st of October 2022, alleged members from the rival 6-7 gang would pull up on Railton Road within Brixton. The members saw Perm, who was allegedly aligned with CT from Clapham, in a car, and would begin to let off shots. Perm would then use the vehicle and would attempt to escape driving for a few moments. Perm would sadly collide with an innocent Deliveroo driver. Whilst trying to evade his attackers, this Deliveroo driver would die on the scene. The attackers would end up shooting Perm multiple more times, with Perm being killed on the scene. Since the death of Perm and the innocent Deliveroo driver, no one has been arrested or charged for the double murder, with Crime Stoppers even putting out a £20,000 reward to anyone with information. Brooker from 6
They ain't doing that's not enough. That is not enough for that, man.
7 was originally arrested for the double murder. However, he would go on to be released days later, with the murder remaining unsolved. Rest in peace, both Perm and Guilherme Macias.
RP for real to that delivery driver though. That's sad, bro.
Now, going into 2023, the rivalry between Croydon's STK group and 6-7 would get heated. This following the leak of a track titled Lambeth Utes. Within this song, the STK rappers said that they, quote, turned off one, then we got a couple, now we got a few, as well as stating they now had a war with the Lambeth Utes, referring to 6-7. Not long after this, Brooker, who I briefly mentioned earlier, would be released from prison. Upon his release, he quickly began to release music, dropping the track Permacrisis, which was a self-snitching anthem in itself. He then followed this up with a feature on a track with DT from Lower Tulse Hill, titled Never Made It Far. Brooker then ended 2023 with a song titled No Heart, featuring Dope Smoke. As of recently, however, Brooker has actually been responding to the disrespectful lyrics STK members have been heard rapping. In his Hatch freestyle, released on the 19th of December 2024, Brooker raps, I say it from the bottom of my heart. They didn't kill A. I don't beef STK. I heard that my Lambeth ops linked up with them, but they still got nothing to say. As well as in his recent Rumble Reload freestyle, in which Brooker raps, scream STK, but they STD. They don't stab to kill. They're meant to beef. As well as stating
I ain't gonna lie, that's low-key fire. That's low-key fire, okay.
5 guys against AD. AD managed to stab 2 of them before he was killed. Rest in peace, AD. Now this brings me to the end of today's video. If you have learned anything from this video, make sure that it's to stay out of the streets.
Stay out of the streets, bro.
From them as possible, as this
do not get into them, man. Do not get into it. That video from UK Drill, man. I hope y'all learn, bro, that y'all don't need to be out here doing this shit, bro. But this was a good video. Shout out to UK Drill plug again, man. Dub video, always dropping knowledge. Him, Kid Nerd. There's another one too. I gotta tune in. It's I think Trap Lord Ross. I gotta start tuning into his videos. I heard his videos are mad long though. Like that's something. That's a video where I gotta get some food and shit like that. I really like gotta really sit down and focus. No cap. But y'all let me know how you feel about this video. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, with them post notifications though. And any other video you want me to react to, just drop it right into the comments. You know I got y'all, man. Love y'all niggas, man. Until then, though, we are out of here.